Joins us now from Melbourne. Treasurer, good morning to you. So this is good news for Australia. Does it increase the scope for the government to extend JobKeeper and JobSeeker payments after September?
Well, we're undertaking a review of the JobKeeper program, and I'll have more to say on the 23rd of July when I provide an economic update. What we do know is that the JobKeeper program is supporting some 3.5 million workers with a flat $1,500 a fortnight payment. It's been an important economic lifeline for the country, and of course it complements the JobSeeker program, where we've seen an effective doubling of the safety net with that $550 coronavirus supplement. But Michael, this statement overnight by Moody's is a real vote of confidence in the Australian economy. We're one of only 10 nations to have a AAA credit rating from those three leading credit rating agencies, and what Moody's said in their statement was that there's been effective and proactive policy making by the government and relevant agencies, and of course that the Australian economy remains remarkably resilient. So this is really good news, and it does affect the cost of borrowing, not just for the federal government but for state governments and for private lenders like banks.
So many sectors crying out for help, including the arts industry. We understand they're about to receive a new federal government assistance package within days. What can the arts industry expect?
They can expect continued support from the federal government on top of the earlier announcement of $27 million for Indigenous arts organisations, regional arts organisations, and a group called Support Act providing financial assistance to those artists in need. We also know that the JobKeeper program, Michael, is supporting many in the arts sector, whether it's the Melbourne Theatre Company, the Queensland Ballet, Opera Australia, the Sydney Symphony Orchestra, are all utilising the JobKeeper program. But we have been working on a set of measures and supports for that sector, recognising that the social distancing requirements that are in place have made it very hard for those events in that sector to continue as they did pre-COVID.
Makes it very hard indeed. How concerned are you about the prospect of Melbourne going into yet another hard lockdown and the potential impact that would have on the national economy?
Well, I'm very concerned, firstly, about the health impacts of the spike in cases in Victoria, and it just underlines how significant the threat is from COVID, and we're not out of it yet, even though we've been ahead of the rest of the world in flattening the curve. People need to follow the quarantine requirements. Obviously, there needs to be continued tracing and testing, and the Victorian and federal authorities are obviously stepping that up. But this is a real challenge to ensure that we stem that curve in terms of the increase in cases. But the impact of flattening the curve is that we can actually get people back to work. So it has a big economic impact as well.
And finally, your former boss, the former Prime Minister Malcolm Turnbull, is not happy at all about the plan to double the cost of arts degrees. He describes it as baffling. Has he got a point?
Well, as you know, we're significantly reducing the cost of degrees for teaching, for languages, for mathematics, for nurses, and what we want to do is get more people into those courses where the jobs are going to be. And so, of course, I'm always encouraging people to do law and economics. Indeed, I'm a product of that. And
is it fair though to double the cost of? Is it fair though to pretty much double the cost of arts degrees?
Well, what we're trying to do is get the balance here right, and to ensure that as an economy we have the jobs in the areas that we need it and the skills in the areas that we need it. Don't forget, we're also ensuring that by the end of the decade there's another 100,000 places in our institutions. That's a good thing. This is a significant package, and it's designed to support those STEM subjects.
Okay.
And of course, the more teachers we have, the more nurses, the more language, people who are proficient in languages, the better off we'll be.
We're out of time. We love teachers and nurses, of course. Thank you, Treasurer, for joining us on News Breakfast.
Thank you.